Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to another movie review. And today's movie that I'm going to review is the movie Steel. And it stars Shaquille O'Neal, Annabeth, Gish, Judd Nelson, Richard Roundtree, Irma P. Hall, and Ray J. And man, this is going to be more of a rant though, but this movie is so shitty. It's one of the worst comic book movies I have ever seen in my life. This movie is as bad as Batman and Robin. It really is. I mean, I like Shaq in Kazam, because that's a guilty pleasure for me. I like that movie because it's one that I watched a lot when I was a kid, and it's just a childhood movie that I really like. But Kazam, in my opinion, is better than this movie. That's in my opinion. I know some of you won't agree with me on this, so I don't care. But the movie is about, it's based on the DC Comics hero named Steel, he first appeared in the Reign of Superman storyline in the Superman comics back in '93, and this comic came out after the Doomsday Superman comic book, which I never read the comics though, but I've read some up about this stuff. But yeah, so the movie is basically about John Henry Irons, who is played by Shaquille O'Neal, and he's a weapons designer who invents this sort of high-tech laser gun for the military. And one of his soldiers, Nathaniel Burke, who is played by Judd Nelson, shows what the weapons can do, and he sets one of Shaquille O'Neal's character, John Irons, laser guns at high point, and Judd Nelson shoots it at a building, and it backfires, leading to the team's building getting destroyed, and it injures Iron's partner, Susan Sparks, who is played by Annabeth Gish. Her nickname is Sparky though, as a character's name. But she gets injured, and because she was crushed by concrete that fell from the building, and she has to be in a wheelchair for life now. And after that happens, both Shaquille O'Neal and Judd Nelson's characters go to court, and Shaquille O'Neal's character, John Henry Irons, rats out Judd Nelson's character, Nathaniel Burke, and this leads to Burke getting kicked out of the military, and it also leads to Irons quitting because of Sparky getting injured, Annabeth Gish's character. And after Burke gets kicked out, he ends up hatching this plot to sell Shaquille O'Neal's character's weapons to these gangs, and he hires a video arcade manager to help. And so later on, they go on. Shaq and Annabeth Gish's characters meet Uncle Joe, who is played by Richard Roundtree. John Henry Irons' uncle. In the movie, Shaquille O'Neal's character. And with the help of his Uncle Joe, Uncle Joe, Sparks, and Shaquille O'Neal, John Henry Irons, they build this suit for Shaquille O'Neal to carry out the crime, and he basically calls himself Steel. And I gotta admit, the suit looks so fucking horrible. It's so bad, and it's laughable. It's really laughable. But this movie is also laughable also. It's hilarious at how shitty this movie is. Every time when Shaq came on screen in the Steel costume, I just laughed my ass off because of how bad it looks. But it's just a horrible, horrible movie. It's very cheesy. The acting is bad. The effects are lame. They are very lame. And Shaq. The weapons that they use in the movie. Oh, the weapons shoot out sound. Like it shoots out like this ball of like energy that could destroy like buildings and tanks, and it's just sound like that. It's really is. But they, of course they couldn't use gun weapons like that with bullets. They have to use this stupid weapon and shooting out a ball of a ball full of sound. That's basically the whole plot to this movie. It's really, really shitty. And this movie had no connection to Superman whatsoever. Although Shaquille O'Neal's character, John Irons, has a tattoo of the Superman logo on there, saying the Man of Steel. And also the director of the movie, Kenneth Johnson, who actually wrote it, said in an interview that they had to film Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq's steel costume at night because it looked ridiculous to shoot in the daytime. And if you wanted to shoot in the daytime, when the costume looked ridiculous, then don't do the movie. Don't film the movie. Because, like I said, the director said, the costume looked ridiculous to shoot in the daytime. Like I said, don't do the movie. Why do it? And there are so many references to, Shaq's basketball career, his inability to make free throws, and almost at the end of the movie, he has to save himself and his brother Martin, who was played by Ray J. And Martin, his brother's telling him, to throw a grenade through a hole, and after that, when he does that, his brother ends up giving him basketball advice to make the free throw and throw the grenade into the, through the hole. And I'm like, what? And also, from what I've heard in the comics, the Steel character only just uses the hammer like to hit people. But in this movie, Shaq is like using the hammer as a weapon. What? And then also, the cheesy lines in the movie, like Shaq sees the street gang and he uses the weapon and he's like, it's hammer time. It's really, really campy, really cheesy, and just really, really shitty. What more can I say about this movie? It's other than it's shitty. It's crappy. It's as, like I said, it's as bad as Batman and Robin. It's just, what more can I say about it? But avoid this movie at all costs. Like I said, it's so shitty. It's horrible. It's lame, and the acting is bad. The effects are shitty and lame. And then also you have one scene at the end where Annabeth, Gish's character Sparky, she uses the wheelchair, and the wheelchair, she ends up firing the weapons from the whatever you call them, the gun effects from the wheelchair, and I think it was Shaq said, how fast can it go? And then she ends up, the wheelchair just goes fast. It really does. And the shooting's still going on. Like, what? Yeah. But, avoid this movie at all costs. This is one movie that, if I were to make a request, because I know good person here on YouTube, James, whose username is James Like Movies 2012. He was going to do a series of videos upcoming. He's going to do it in the vein of the Nostalgia Critic. So if he watches this video, he should really watch this movie and rant on the movie after he watches it. You know, just I would request him to do that, because you know I would want to see his reaction to the movie when he does it in his character. So yeah, so James, if you make the videos and do the characters, do the character, I highly suggest you watch this movie and rant on it. See what your character has to say. So anyways, avoid this movie at all costs. It's shitty, it's bad, and it's not worth watching. So anyways, that's it for my review of Steel. Thank you all for watching, and until the next video, I'll see you all later.